I did see the Bloomberg hit piece. That's the guy I just called. It's really funny. Did it say once a millionaire? Really funny. Did it really say that? Because I'm texting the reporter right now. Yeah, I've had this long-term fight with Bloomberg. They really don't like me. My girlfriend knew about that, actually. How are you? You know, like I said, my history with Bloomberg is it's very hard to trust you guys. Even if I tell you, I mean, she told me straight. She told me straight up that the editors at Bloomberg don't like me and they'll make stuff up and, you know, just do whatever they feel like. They have very little integrity. Who's your editor? I mean, your article is full of falsehoods. Actually, it is. It is. I know my life better than you do. I'll tell you that. And do you think those court documents are necessarily factual? Did you do any research into? Did you call the probation officer? Is that my job or is that your job? No, that's not circles. That's how do I even trust that you'll honor the background? Reporters are impossible to trust. I mean, I think typically, complete background, to me means you won't write anything I say. Right, but the problem is that reporters such as yourself, again, thanks to Christie's sort of literally had your exact job, have told me that it's rootless. It's basically, not worth doing the discussion because there's always some trick that you can use to sort of find a way to get the information, out there, including just outright, breaking the background and breaking there's no law that says you can't do it.
I don't do that.
I'm sure you know. I'm sure you.
I've never heard of that. She had her own issues. I mean, so
it's happened to me with the Wall Street Journal. So you've never heard of it happening? Really? Not once?
Not on my team, no.
I know Pat doesn't like me.
Pat who?
Pat, your colleague.
Patty? Her
Pat, yeah.
name's Patty, it's not.
Okay, she told my lawyer her name's Pat, so.
Oh, okay, just making sure. She goes by Patty as far, and she's a.
She very much doesn't like me.
I mean, she did say that you lunged at her in court.
I've never lunged at her. She's an old woman. Why would I lunge at her?
I don't.
But again, to all the more reason why she shouldn't be writing something that's an attempt to be objective.
That's why my name is first on the byline.
My impression of her, she's a moron. And this story she's absolutely a moron. Trust me. Okay. And
look, I didn't call you at this late hour to listen to you disparage my colleagues. I called.
I mean, I disparage you too, because your article's poorly written and it's full of factual inaccuracies.
And you keep saying that, but look, if you're saying it's,
I don't have to.
Okay, well, you have
that's it.
Statement.
Well, I'm so happy you closed the door on that.
No, you said you don't have to.
I don't. I don't. But I hope that you have some. Compunction about having responsibility to determine whether or not what you wrote is true.
You can tell me.
Did you? Is that how the logic works? Is if I can't tell you what's wrong with it? So if you said the sky is orange polka dot color, and I don't tell you what's wrong with that, and I don't explain to you why the refraction index of the air makes it look blue, that you stand by orange and polka dots?
Okay. That's fascinating.
I mean, your article. I'm telling you, your article's wrong. Maybe you should look into some of the details.
Do you know that I have ever anyone who said something factually incorrect in one of my stories who used to say what it was?
I think the reality of media and the relationship media has with its subjects is changing pretty rapidly. And that the distrust that people have with the media is significant.
Well, why don't you help fix it then by telling me?
I think the onus is on you to actually do your job. And did you ever?
I did do my job. I attributed it to the appropriate people who filed it.
Sure.
Who's a probation officer. And you, probation officer, saying that she's lying.
I'm not saying she's lying. I'm saying that you're drawing
information.
I'm saying there's 2 or 3 things going on. And again, your job is to connect the dots, not my job.
It's not whatever you're doing is not it's not that big of a deal. I don't care enough to spend all
No, me
day
neither.
finding out finding out. We did try to get in touch with anything. They never got back.
Yeah, I talked to him. He sent me, your inquiry.
Yeah, so that is me doing the job.
You did a perfunctory, a very perfunctory.
You won't comment. So
I'm not hoping to correct. I'm not hoping for you to correct your story. I'm happy your story.
I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm
going beyond at a comment, and you're refusing to give me one.
Yeah, of course not.
Me on the phone, So I am doing my job. You don't see it that way, and I obviously know you're doing a job.
You can live in the world of denial that you've done your job as a journalist and you've done a great job and you've written a story that's impeccably correct.
Don't you just tell me what is it?
I'd rather the story be incorrect than anything else, to be honest. It's humorous to me. It's enjoyable to, I smirked my traditional smirk when I saw your headline.
I reported what was in that probation office.
No.
Did you mislead the probation office?
Not at all.
What your employment is?
Not at all.
Are you sure? Because that document seems.
Well, some of the problem with the media is, like, if I clarified something that would be very illuminating to you, you're such a nerd and geek that you'd call the probation office and be like, well, Mr. Shkreli said that technically. No, you would do it. You would do it with the hope of somehow getting me into trouble.
No, I am not trying to get you in any trouble.
It is exactly it's happened to me. Did you know that Patty emailed my prosecutor? Did you see that email by any chance?
No,
she's not fit to report on me, dude.
Okay, well,
you should look into Patty's history with Winston Pace. Patty was actually getting grand jury. Patty had a very interesting dialogue with Mr. Pace, who was my prosecutor, and I would argue that at least Pace's actions were inappropriate, but you should take a look at that. I think you'd find it really interesting.
Okay, kind of work you're doing for that law.
That's between me and him.
Okay, and that's totally else to discuss.
I think your story made it seem like I'm living on $2,500 a month.
The story said that you're being paid $2,500.
Right. I think it says living off $2,500. No. All right. Do you think I'm living on $2,500 a month?
I know that's being reported.
It is not. It is not. That's just a false and misleading headline. I mean, you should correct your headline. I mean, it's just wrong. If I couldn't live on $2,500 a month, could you? I know journalism isn't journalism isn't the most high paying industry in the world, but that's between me and the probation officer. But I'm not living on $2,500 a month. I think you should change your headline. I'm telling you, nobody could live in New York on $2,500 a month.
You just say on the record that you have other income.
I don't have to say anything on the record. My job isn't to help Bloomberg.
I was just making a suggestion.
Your job is to write accurate news. My job is not to help Bloomberg. That's not in my job description. But your headline's wrong.
Don't have income coming in that isn't from employment.
Well, it's not my duty to tell you about my assets, my family's assets, where I live, any of those things. It's your job as a reporter to ferret that stuff out with all your gumshoe detective work, right? That you're supposed to be really good at. That's what you do, right? It's not my job to, but if you say I'm living on $2,500 a month, it's a blatant lie. But that's what you guys do.
Okay, so you're saying
I hope you have the integrity.
It's
just not just misleading, it's completely false.
Okay. Talk to my editor about that. Now that
I think you've known Christy for a long time. You've worked in this field for 17 years. I think the people that you work for, it sounds like you have some amount of integrity. But, my guess is the people you work for wrote that headline. And they did it in an effort to try to disparage me.
I swear to you, that was the intention.
Was it your headline or was it their headline?
No, it wasn't my headline.
Of course not.
It's not. It was literally it gave one
And who's your editor that wrote the headline?
His name is Tony. And
okay, and
I'm going to email him right now.
I think you should, because I think that's a salacious headline that might get some clickbait, but it's false to start. And it's not what was, by the way, just to play it down the middle for a second, on or off background, it's not what was reported in the document. There was also, by the way, I think it mentioned my employment at 𝗥𝗙𝗧𝗏.
It didn't say anything about money from that.
Right. Is
that a company that you started?
I do get money from that, by the way.
Right.
So
and you started that company.
I helped start that company, correct.
And where does that, who are your customers? Are you getting, how much money?
We raised venture capital, my friend. That's what companies do.
Okay.
So, like I said, there's a lot to this story, and you're missing most of it. And you wrote an article, which I'm sure the article itself may be factual, but the headline's insane. I mean, I get a paycheck from 𝗥𝗙𝗧𝗏. It's more than.
And you're still fighting against the FTC, claiming that you're in contempt. Right?
That's a wildly inaccurate characterization, by the way, and I think it was promulgated.
I don't know.
Promulgated by another Bloomberg writer.
I looked.
Oh, did you? They have never once claimed that I'm in any kind of. They've never once claimed that I'm in contempt because I started a drug company or anything like that. We talked to the FTC today. But anyway, our software company, which has 4 different pieces of software, of which 𝗥𝗙𝗧𝗏's the smallest one, is doing great, raising lots of money, and I get paid from that. I get paid a lot more than $2,500 too, by the way. They have not filed any kind of document stating that I violated any order. They asked the judge to determine if I was in contempt for not giving them documents. I know that your job's hard. I know that there's a lot of minutia I know exactly. That's what I'm telling. I completely agree, right? Like there's a lot of minutia here. It's my life, not yours. But yeah, getting back to the point at hand, the article literally said I get paid. I have a job at 𝗥𝗙𝗧𝗏, right? And did you stop to consider if I had a salary?
I mean,
on complete off the record. Can I tell you completely off the record?
Sure.
I have a salary from 𝗥𝗙𝗧𝗏. And it is higher than $2,500 a month. Why would I? It's hilarious to see you guys write the completely wrong headline. I think it's great. On background, I'll show you. On background, I called you guys 4 times today. Nobody picked up. Patty didn't pick up. You didn't pick up. But by the way, on background,
you never called me.
Sure I did. How do you think I got this number? Nope. No, incorrect. Hold on. I will send you a screenshot, my friend. Where do you think I got your number? I got it from the guy that you sent it to. I will send you, my friend, I'm not lying to you, I will send you the screenshot of the thing that the guy sent me. I will send you a screenshot from my iPhone. I called you several times, actually. It may not have rang, but I did call you several times. But no, on complete background and off the record, I'll show you my pay stubs. I wonder if that'll make you guys change your headline. Why would I tell you anything? That's not my job. It says in the document. You chose to interpret the document the way you chose to interpret it. You chose to interpret it the worst possible way, you know, in the light that made me seem the worst, and with a headline that's salacious and inaccurate when it says right there that I work at 𝗥𝗙𝗧𝗏 too.
But it didn't mention any pay.
Okay, why do you think that is? I can't.
Because a lot of times I don't get pay.
Well, I do get pay, and I have to report it to my lovely probation officer. So, you know, why she didn't include it, I don't know, but it's there, and you could have inquired. Well, I thank you for honoring that at the very least. That no, I don't want to comment on it. How do you deal with these guys? You know, now I have to show him all the calls I made. Called him at 5:11. I called him twice at 5:21. So yeah, that's how these guys work. Judah, Pat Hurtado can't stand me. You told this guy that I lunged at her. Lunged at her? What are you talking about? She's a 4-foot-tall old lady. Lunged at her. Lunged at her. Why would I lunge at a 4-foot-tall old lady? What? She wishes I would lunge at her. He came at me like a spider monkey. So yeah, what'd you guys think of the Bloomberg guy? Sorry I was on the us paying attention to him instead of typing during the whole thing. They can just write what they want. They can't, you can't sue them. I think that he probably is one of the better journalists out there. Like, he did sound a little bit committed to, like, getting to the bottom of it. He definitely was a little annoyed too, which is fine. But, like, yeah, I'm a little annoyed at Goth's tweet too. I like how the guy was like, no, you didn't call me earlier. I just texted him. I liked how you thought I didn't call you. Speak that truth to power. You got it. He said, I didn't have service, apparently. I see now. I didn't have service. Well, you were pretty sure that I didn't call you. It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't call me. You just got my number because I called you. It used to be truth to power. Now it's just lies to power.